What? How y'all doing? Huh. This feels a bit weird. I got a comment a couple of days ago on another YouTube channel. I haven't posted there in a while. And I guess it's kind of asking... It's from Nikki. What happened to your posting? So I'm going to disappear. Go and address that. Just want to make it clear, this feels a bit weird. I feel proper nervous. Anyway, I'll see you all in a minute. Mate, I am such a hero. I just realised, well, first off, that felt really weird. Secondly, I've just been recording for like 5 minutes with no audio because I forgot to I forgot to unmute the microphone. I never thought that anyone would give a shit that I wasn't posting it on the old channel, but I made the video. And I've just kind of explaining how we ended up here. Because I didn't tell anyone when I changed all my social media really back in 2020. I told like a handful of people. And, you know, I skipped out on a fair bit. And I'm not going to lie, it's made me feel a bit nervous just thinking about it. I always say to people, you can't appreciate the good without the bad, but just remembering how quickly things flipped on their heads a couple of years ago, it was nuts. It really was nuts. You know, you think you've got everything nailed down, and then just the world gets flipped on its head. And I mentioned in the video that how Inky, my wife, got hospitalised in 2020. She had an accident. She got hurt, and everything just spiraled from there. Things were pretty not cool beforehand, but for her, that was life-changing. And turns out that life had to change pretty hardcore for us all. For her in particular, we thought it was going to be my health that would that would tank first, but unfortunately for her, you know, she had to make some pretty hardcore lifestyle changes after she came out of hospital, and the support was just, and she just, and actually that's why we've been trying to take it easy today. We've been pretty much zonked out, wasted all day. So we had our vaccines yesterday, our boosters for flu and all that kind of stuff. And that was something we didn't think was ever going to be a huge issue either. But then after the accident in 2020, finding out that we're immune compromised, well, Inky is immune compromised, and I already had health issues. Just how things change, man. Just drop of a hat. Everything's in going smooth, and big dramatic life changing things can happen in no time flat. I guess I didn't really want to cross post, but the comment came in, and that hit me in the feels a bit. So I just thought I'd address it, and I kind of actually wish I'd have put the whole health thing in there too, but I probably shouldn't really put it here either. It's not really my place to say it, but I don't know. I'll clear it with the wife first, but you know, she was building up. Good job. Working on their qualifications and that to go higher and higher and higher. Had a goal in mind, and say just accident, everything changed. Everything changed. She'd shown signs of the conditions that she was diagnosed with later on, years and years and years ago, all the way back in like 2012, 11. But it wasn't until 2020 that it really became a thing. Like, it was 2018 and then through to 2020. I just... Not great. Not groovy, but we're just trying to chill out, relax today. Wow, that's really thrown me off. Sorry. Cleared it with the wife. So, it's cool. It's cool. I just wanted to be sure if she was okay with me talking about the accident and all that kind of stuff. I like to run all that kind of stuff by the wife before I post anything, but yeah. I think at some point might have to actually talk about the whole process of what happened and the first signs and all that kind of things. That could be helpful to some folk, because it was a long running process and then it just quickly down. But that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. I'll post the cross post video at the end of this one if anyone wants to check it out, if folks want to check it out. I really didn't want to link this channel on the old one. The whole point was to keep this one completely separate, but whatever. It's too late now. Now I got a message from my ma, which has thrown me off some more, I suppose. The chap who played the Green Power Ranger, was it Jason David Frank? Also the White Power Ranger, passed away. So look at what day is it today? Today. Shouldn't laugh. Unfortunate that he took his own life. He was a dude that fans of the show Power Rangers really liked, even though from what I remember his character wasn't actually part of the show that the Power Rangers is pulled from. Power Rangers are pulled from, whatever. They'd spliced a couple of shows together. Yeah, as far as his place in the show, he was a fan favourite, and even after the show ended, he would go to all conventions and stuff, and you know, meet with fans and all that kind of stuff. So I imagine people are very, very sad that he's gone. Anyway, covered in chocolate and chicken from a surprise dinner. I'm going to bed. Hope you are. That felt really weird. Don't think anyone will come over. I'm still surprised that anyone even noticed or cared to comment. If anyone comes over, hi. And derailing myself by having my microphone muted. What a hero. That's why this has got so awkward. Bless that girl. See you on the next one. Right. How y'all doing? It's been a while, hasn't it? Still alive. What's the occasion? I got a comment from Nikki, and Nikki asks, "What happened to your posting?" Now I don't know if that's what happened to your posting relating to the video the comment was left on. Maybe a follow-up to the Pine Time, which was a Pine 64 smartwatch. Or could it just be what happened in general? I'm gonna... the last one. What happened? Where did I go? Short answer, nowhere. I haven't, maybe, I don't know. Longer answer, though, is a bit more complicated. It's going to be a bit, but just, you know, if you're interested, hear me out. Sorry for throwing you under the bus here, Nikki. I've always had this groove where I'm a pretty straight talking guy. I don't sugarcoat things. Honesty, no matter the cost, even if it's something that's not particularly popular, if I feel it has to be said, it has to be said. And for 9 years, going on 9 years, 10 years, I made daily vlogs. And in those daily vlogs, if I had a bad day, there would have been a bad day in the vlog. I would have just said it. If I had a good day, it would have been reflected in the vlog. That was the point of my videos. That's the point of everything I do, everything I say. Honesty, no matter the cost. It's just one of my grooves. I haven't always been like that, but it's one of my grooves. You know, especially later in life, as I got older, that's been my groove. But it's no secret that in 2019, I was through the floor. Mentally through the floor. I was pretty low. I was going through a challenge. The 18-month challenge. Just to go back onto what that was, anyone that doesn't know, I wanted to take my eldest son. We wanted to have a family trip to Las Vegas to go to Evo, when it was a fighting game tournament. And I was supposed to be saving up some pennies for us to go to Evo. But I checked the savings pot, and for one reason or another, it was empty. And I was spending a lot of time doing YouTubey stuff, streamy stuff, having a laugh, having a good time. And I talked to my family and we said, you know what, let's set this up as a challenge. You like a challenge? I do like a challenge. 18 months. You've got 18 months thereabouts between now and when Evo is supposed to happen. If you can make the cash to go to Evo in that time period, doing the YouTubing and the streaming and all that kind of stuff, awesome. If you can't, put it in the bin. Now, just to skip forwards, we won it. We did it. Folks helped me reach the goal. But I stopped making videos and we didn't go to Evo. So, what happened? Like I say, I'm a pretty out there, open guy. Even if it'll get me into trouble, even if the things I have to say aren't popular, I say what I feel. If I'm low, you'll know I'm low. If I'm on a high, you'll know I'm on a high. You'll know I'm happy. My videos were supposed to be the ultimate form of reality TV. That was it. Because, let's say, in 10 years' time, I'm like, man, what were we doing on XYZ day? Have a look. Oh, mate. And then there'll be a nice little snippet. A bit of a summary of how we felt at that moment in time. But in 2019, that stopped being a thing. End of 2019. Middle end of 2019, that stopped being a thing. I've had this reputation for years of just being honest to a fault. But life started feeling like I was losing it. I didn't have hold of my groove anymore. Some things were happening and I wasn't comfortable. I wasn't comfortable at all in life. It felt like life was slipping away. But it also wasn't stuff that I could really talk about. It wasn't me. It didn't involve me. But it affected me. It wasn't my story to tell. I was vague, cryptic. I started to become vague and cryptic. You had to read between the lines. It was all there, but you had to read between the lines. And that's never really fun. And so I was low, and then by doing that, I got lower. I started to get a reputation for being vague. Oh man, you're well good at being vague and cryptic. You know, you're really good at that. And it put me through the floor. It really put me through the floor. I did not like it at all. Don't get me wrong, I can be. I can beat around the bush like anyone else, but I don't like it. I don't like it. That's practically lying. I don't like it. It makes me feel uncomfortable. It's not quite lying, but I feel uncomfortable. Fast forward to July 2020, my wife got hospitalised. And that really did. At that point, I crumbled. It really felt, at that point, if it didn't already, it really felt like everything was just slipping away. Everything I held dear, everything I cherished was just slipping away. Should note, actually, I got married in 2020. At the beginning of 2020, which caused its own problems. But we started to feel like we were losing control. Like everything was just slipping away. And so while my wife was in hospital, I dropped clean through the floor. I really did crumble. I was a nightmare to be around. I was miserable. But I didn't want to be one of those geezers that's like, oh yeah mate, hyper positive, and all that kind of stuff, only to then disappear and then come back in 6 months to a year's time and go, yeah mate, I was proper miserable, hyper depressed. Well, when my wife came out of hospital, I missed a day on the daily vlogs. And I always said if I missed a day, even one, for whatever reason, I'd stop. Day just slipped by. She came out of hospital. I was so excited, so happy. But I missed a day. I was like, well, I said I'd put it in the bin. And I still wasn't able to just be out there, you know? I still felt really kind of all over the place, and it's just like, nah, it's not a thing. I can't, just not, this can't be, you know? I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be one of those guys. And so without really asking anyone, I just put it in the bin. All of it, just straight out in the bin. Social network profiles, YouTube, just the whole lot just went in the bin. Even after winning the 18-month challenge, I put it all in the bin. Didn't say goodbye or anything, just went, nope, gone. Now a little bit of time passes, not a huge amount of time passes. And I come back to social media. I only tell about 3 people. I'm coming back to social media, but I'm distancing myself from everything else that I've done before. And then it coincides with an announcement from Facebook. Facebook? What do you care about Facebook? Generally speaking, I don't. I really don't. But they announced a product. The Oculus Quest 2. If anyone wasn't sure what I was going on about, the Oculus Quest 2. In 2020, my mate Ram gave me an Oculus CV1, and I absolutely loved it. The consumer version 1, Gen 1 Oculus headset. Fantastic. And I got myself an Oculus Quest. Fantastic. The only problem with the CV1 was that you had to have base stations, right? And so you'd set them up, and then if they got moved, you had to recalibrate everything. It was annoying as all balls. The Quest allowed you to have inside-out tracking, meaning that it would use cameras on the headset to track your hands, and that was absolutely brilliant, because then you could just go anywhere you wanted, set up, and press the button, and you were good to go. And they announced the Quest 2. There's a catch. Facebook announces that you're going to need to sign in to the Quest 2 with your real name. That's actually kind of Facebook's policy outright. You should be on Facebook with your real name. And if you randomly get a notification through saying, confirm who you are, random named person, if you don't have any ID that matches up with the name on your profile, they can shut it down. And there's generally waves of these that happen during, like, oh, I don't know, the United States presidential elections. And that's, you know, every few years, Facebook tend to purge people with weird old names. I've never really used my real name online. Up until this point. Because if I was going to buy an Oculus Quest 2, now a Meta Quest 2, and I was going to be forced to sign in with a Facebook account, I didn't want to risk paying for software that would maybe possibly get taken away from me if one of these waves came through and it picked out me as a dodgy geese on the Facebooks, because I didn't have any ID with my pseudonym on it. Of course I didn't. There's nothing. There's no paperwork. Funny enough, though, going back to when I got married, I don't actually have any paperwork with my actual name on it now either. Because when I got married, I was one of those weirdos that changed my name. I changed my name. My kids have a double-barreled name. It was my name and my wife's name. And when we got married, we thought, well, fuck it. Let's double-barrel too. And we sent all of our paperwork into the Govy. And then the coronavirus lockdown happened in 2020. Terrible timing. And they stuffed it up. They actually got our paperwork, our stuff come through, and it was wrong. Then we had to send it back, and they lost it. And we didn't actually get our paperwork back until a few months back. We still don't actually have any up-to-date ID. We just have all of our old paperwork back. But if one of those waves came through, I wouldn't have any ID. Just as a note, actually, how long it's been since I've used my name, my real name. Some people have known me for decades, literally decades, and they still don't know my real name, my birth name. It's Luke, by the way. So, with the Quest 2 being a thing, and the Facebook requirement being a thing, I went real name online. And that was it. New social media profiles, new YouTube channel, new Twitch channel, and I went real name online. That's it. And I had planned on the YouTube channel, I'd do a bit of a flex, you know, a little bit more quality content. Don't post anything unless I had something to make. And no, just turned into another year's worth of vlogs. With some occasional nuggets of goodness in there, but most of it was the same fluff I'd normally post. I didn't really... Did I go anywhere? I don't know. I didn't go anywhere, I just shifted over a little bit. And I was also kind of stupidly trying to prove a point that you could still do things without pushing a following from somewhere else. Not that I have a following anywhere else, but it was a fun little game to play. And still not having ID was a ball ache during 2020 and 2021 and to a degree 2022, because, well, if you ain't got any ID, you can't really do anything. You can't go and rent anywhere, you can't buy anything, you can't... You need ID to do things, and woo, we've not had any. So that's been a joy. That put our moods even lower. Still to this day, still brings us down quite a bit. But yeah, that is the rough, roundabout, long-winded story about what happened. It was largely just because I didn't want to be that guy that made out everything was okay and then had a breakdown. This wasn't shit that wasn't my story to tell, so I didn't tell it. Lots of things happened. Lots of things changed. You know, just because something affects me doesn't mean I need to jump up and down, shout and scream. I can. I usually do. But you can't control other people's lives. you can't control other people's health and stuff like that. It was just completely beyond my control. So I hope that answers the question. Anything about the Pine time and the Pine phone and that? No idea. I've been taking long breaks from social media. Ever since making the new accounts, I could be 3 months gone off of like Facebook and Twitter and things like that. Don't use smartwatches or anything, so I don't know. They could be great now. They could like, I don't know, make you sandwiches and cure diseases, but I wouldn't know. So that's it. If anyone's feeling low, particularly shitty, give me a shout. Or if anyone wants to talk for any reason, just give me a shout. I made it clear over that year. I didn't want anyone else to feel like I did. Didn't want anyone else to feel low like I did. Didn't want anyone else to feel like their world was just disappearing. You know? Because that's not cool. When you feel like you haven't got any control over your life. Especially when we didn't have any IDs. I was completely miserable. Oh dear. So I hope you're well. And I'll see you all. I don't know. Like I say, I'm still posting, just right now I'm not here. And if you check this out, thanks very much. Leave a comment. I'm still getting them. Still reading them. Let me know how you're getting on.